Cal forever here. Just went for a short drive, went to the food pantry, and just wanted to do a spiritual journal flow. This is my Saturn return. I'm in my Saturn return. And, you know, for me, it's like this structure within myself. And it seems like, I don't know, like, I think a lot of things are going to start manifesting externally. I just have to purge out all of the inner stuff and wait for the divine timing, you know? Like, it's like, where's the energy at right now for me personally? It's like, I feel very unstable and ungrounded. And, like, I'm overwhelmed, actually. I'm overwhelmed. I'm feeling so much, getting so many downloads. And so much clearing. Like, I feel like I've kind of came into a depression a little bit with this Taurus energy purging so much out. And, like, I feel like almost guilty for, like, waiting so long and not really creating anything. But I guess I have been creating things. You know, I got my pine salve thing going for me. I don't know, I just feel blocked, like I don't want to create a life by myself. I know that I can create a life of abundance with my throat singing, but I want to collaborate with this other person. So it's like, oh, well, I'll just wait. You know, I won't try to build up this tower that I would have to take down or have to dismantle and collaborate with someone else. You know, sometimes it is good to kind of create a tower to collaborate with someone else. But I feel like these things aren't flowing for me for a reason, and it doesn't mean that I need to break my back to try to make shit happen for me so that I can take care of my financial needs and things like that. I feel like I could be creating more songs, but I feel like I'm actually doing quite well. And right now I'm just kind of moving through a phase of, like, spiritual depression, you know, where you go through this clearing phase and then you come out and feel really good and get all these downloads, and it's almost like a bipolar thing in a way, but it's not bipolar. It's just this Kundalini energy knows what it's doing, and there is a completion to this process. The awakenings never end. You're always going to be enlightened by something, but there is a completion to this stepping stone of Kundalini awakening, where it illuminates all your meridians and purifies and clears all of the baggage and aligns and balances you. You know, and at the same time, it's like, how can I be in integrity and an authentic healer, helping activate other people and balance them, when I feel like I'm a very imbalanced person right now? You know? I went to the food bank and I got a freaking beer and, like, thinking, like, why the fuck am I drinking? Like, this is not me. This is not what I want to do. This does not make me feel good. And I go up the canyon and I get out to go to the bathroom and I throw it up. And it's like, okay, I guess maybe I don't need to be drinking. Thank God I threw up that beer. You know, I don't even want the effects from the beer. I just am, like, in between lives. It's like I'm in between lives where, like, that old part of me that would just drink when I was in this shitty situation, that's what I'm scraping through in my psyche right now, my subconscious self. And it's just coming up and being healed. And this is just the process. And, like, to sit here and think, like, oh, I'm degrading, I'm getting worse, I'm failing, I'm being lazy, or this or that. I'm not being lazy, you know. And I can't compare myself with others. It's like, oh, well, other people go to work and deal with the emotions anyways. And it's like, you know, like, maybe some people aren't nearly as overwhelmed as me. And I did work full time, you know, going through this. And it was way too overwhelming. way too painful. So part of me is kind of resistant to getting a job, you know. But I have a job selling pine salve, and, you know, I have the opportunity and potential to be this profound healer for other people. You know, my throat singing is extremely powerful, and I'm highly gifted. It's just I feel like these things need resolution. And the whole thing with my twin flame experience, like, that is the number one cornerstone. Like, I feel like I'm waiting for that person. And I need to look up codependency, because maybe I have this codependency wound. Like, I know that I can do things by myself, but I don't want to do things by myself. I want to do things with this person, and I see the benefits of collaborating with this person. I almost feel like I'm channeling her energy with her thinking about collaborating with me, and her feeling guilty for how her and her family treated me. You know, I think there's this mystery about this whole connection, and, you know, I'm going through all this for a reason and resolving like lifetimes of karma. So, but I don't want to have an excuse to like stay in the cave, to stay in the hole, you know, to not create things. But it doesn't feel like things are flowing that way, and I don't want to push things too much, because I have pushed things really hard in the past to try to make things happen that weren't ready to happen, you know. You can't force a flower to bloom. You'll damage the petals, you know. You can't force a chick out of its shell, you know. You can't force a butterfly out of its chrysalis, out of its cocoon, you know. So, like, I'm not going to try to force myself out of the cocoon and damage myself. I feel like that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to come out of the cocoon, and I think I'll know when it is time to come out of the cocoon. I think things will feel right, they'll flow, I'll get prompting from the universe, and I'm surrendered to taking that action. And part of my liberation right now is I am surrendered to allowing myself to feel depression, to feel sad, to go through the grieving process. And maybe I'm going through the grieving process with my twin flame and what she's going through. And so that's just an extra step of my liberation of how much I can handle on my emotional spectrum. So I think I am going to start creating more songs and stuff. I do feel that inspiration. But I don't know what, like, I feel very ADHD about it. I think my thing is I'm so connected with this person on a soul level that when she gets inspiration and creation, she's like creating stuff, and I'm like tuned into that, and then I try to create things in my reality, and it's just this mess. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm tuned into someone else's energy, and it's not in alignment with what I'm physically doing. So, yeah, resolution on all levels, I think, is what's occurring on a deep level right now, in the background, behind the scenes, and then it's going to externally manifest in my life. And, like, this is not a lazy process. This is a very, like, exhausting, tiring, very focused process. Like, it takes a lot of focus to dive into yourself and feel all these things that you don't even have a cognitive reference point to. And yeah, I guess I could be doing healthier things. Like, it's like, oh, instead of drinking beer, why not go for a hike? And it's like, why do I feel so resistant to doing that? Maybe I need to drink the beer and fucking process that part of myself and complete that part of myself so I don't ever want to drink again. You know, maybe that's my process. And yeah, so I'm just put in positions to that trigger and surface this to be processed. And there's a level where life is doing it for us, but it's like life is essentially, by doing it for us, essentially forcing us to get triggered, to take action in the ways that we need to take action. So I feel very liberated that I can surrender to that, to knowing when life prompts me to do something, I will do it. You know, and if life prompts me to do something and all of these things come up, it's like, oh, well, life is triggering me to clear these things out so that I can respond when the time's right. Yeah. Cal Forever here. I think this was kind of a channeled message for what my twin flame's going through, and it's probably mirroring a lot of me, and it's intermingled and pretty much collaborated. And I am just like in my Saturn return, and I'm very much tuned into her energy and seeing all these visions. Like, I feel like this person really loves me and will really be here to support me in my deficits. And, you know, I can only go so far, you know, and that's how everyone is. I think everyone's a deficit in some way because we separated from each other, from oneness. So we're here to fill in the puzzle pieces of each other's deficits. And that's what creates uniqueness. That's what expands creation. You know, where it requires all of us coming together to do this grand thing, or at least a few spark plugs, you know, to run the engine of life and to get things moving. And then the other spark plugs want to connect in and run, you know, more cylinders. So, yeah, Cal Forever here. Thanks for listening. Peace.